Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Deputy Chief Jeff Jamrez. I'm the Investigative Services Deputy Chief. And joining me this evening in presenting these awards of recognition are Deputy Chief Aretha Barnes of the Support Services Division and Deputy Chief Joe Wozni of the Field Operations Division. Also, I would like to recognize our city officials for this evening, the Honorable Mayor Elizabeth Tisdall, City Manager Wally Bobkowitz, Alderman Rainey, Alderman Burris, Alderman Tendam, Alderman Wynn, and 50th Ward Alderman Deborah Silverstein from the City of Chicago, and also Chief Eddington and Chief Greg Kleiber from the Fire Department. Together, we welcome our fellow officers, award recipients, families, and friends to this evening's awards ceremony sponsored by the Evanston Police Department. The purpose of this ceremony is to publicly recognize police officers and citizens that have demonstrated commitment and dedication to the Evanston community that promotes a better quality of life in the city of Evanston. Tonight, we recognize their actions with awards in the following categories. Honorable mention. The third highest form of recognition, the honorable mention, is awarded for outstanding police work, such as in singularly solving a serious crime or through an individual initiative apprehending a criminal in the act of committing a crime. Certificate of recognition. The fourth level of recognition, the certificate of recognition is awarded for an act of service normally expected in the course of everyday duties and therefore deserving of recognition because of its special circumstances. The unit citation. This award is presented to a bureau or unit specialty in recognition of combined efforts to accomplish the mission and goals of the police department. Chief's Special Recognition. These special awards are presented to members or citizens based on exceptional service or contributions. Police Service Commendation. Special projects and or dedication to duty deserve the highest honor and recognition. These nominees will have accomplished something which brought special credit to the police department or to the city of Evanston. And the Officer of the Year Award. Drawn from any rank, the Officer of the Year is unique in having shown consistent and exemplary support of the department's mission and value statement, including support of the department's police and community partnership. Deputy Chief Barnes, would you please come forward to present the partnership award and unit citation? Thank you.
Good evening. Would City of Chicago 50th Ward Alderman Deborah Silverstein, Alderman Ann Rainey of Evanston's 8th Ward, Commander Jason Parrott, Officer Tanya Jenkins of the Evanston Police Problem Solving Team, Sergeant Robert Kane of the Chicago Police Department, and Officer Blair of the Chicago Police Department, please come forward. In appreciation of your tireless efforts in addressing the quality of life issues affecting the communities of Evanston's 8th Ward and Chicago's 50th Ward of Rogers Park, specifically Siblings Bar, your work and dedication reflects the ideals of and embodies the purpose of the Evanston Problem Solving Team and the Chicago Police Department CAPS program. For your work and dedication, we present each of you with the Evanston Police Department Partnership Award.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Would Becky Fisher and Sarah Jays please come forward? The Social Services and Youth Advocate Division of the Evanston Police Department have the responsibilities of being involved in critical incidents, providing crisis intervention counseling, information and resources for crime victims and witnesses, and medical advocacy for victims and families of the Evanston community. The dedication and devotion extends beyond the initial incident, often providing attention and care through referrals or assistance in obtaining the necessary aid through the legal justice system to ensure the safety and peace of mind of the victims and their families. The care they demonstrate in their tireless efforts extend through the night when their assistance is needed. Through their work, many families who otherwise would have no voice have an advocate speaking for them. For your work and dedication to the citizens of Evanston, we present you with this Unit Citation Award. Thank you. Would Deputy Chief Wozni please come forward to present the certificates of recognitions and honorable mentions? Thank you.
Good evening. I will be presenting the certificates of recognition and honorable mentions. Our next 4 awards will be to citizens for their bravery and courageous acts. Will Jean-Paul, Simone Petrie, and Paul Boyton please come forward? On April 1st, 2013, you were in the area of Payne and Ashland when you heard a woman calling for help. You discovered that the woman's purse had been stolen from the seat of her vehicle by a subject who reached through the vehicle's window. You observed the subject and assisted responding officers with placing the offender in custody. After being identified, it was discovered that the subject had an outstanding warrant as well, and due to your bravery, a habitual offender was arrested and removed from the streets. For your assistance, we present each of you with this certificate of recognition. Thank you. Congratulations. Would Eric Schneider and Jerome Klejunas please come forward? On April 29, 2013, you were in James Park when you observed a theft of a cell phone. You heard the pleas of a victim, and together you pursued the offender through the park, causing him to drop the stolen cell phone and run into a backyard. You then waited for police officers to arrive and directed them to where the offender was hiding. This offender was located and subsequently charged with a felony. Without your bravery in assisting a fellow citizen, this crime would not have been quickly or effectively resolved. Thank you. Would Sergeant Gil Levy please come forward? Starting in May of 2012, you began an investigation targeting local coin shop that was buying proceeds from burglaries. This operation continued for several months, during which you worked tirelessly to build an unshakable case. As a result of this undercover investigation, over 32,000 stolen items were recovered from incidents throughout Cook County, and the offender was charged with multiple offenses. This operation would not have been as successful if not for your skillful coordination of this multi-jurisdictional effort. We present you with this honorable mention. Thanks. Would Officer Scott Sapphire please come forward? On April 24, 2013, you were patrolling in the area of Foster and Gray when you smelled the odor of something burning. You investigated and discovered the residence at 1937 Hartree was on fire. You made multiple attempts to gain entry to ascertain whether there was residents inside at great risk to yourself, and you required medical treatment as a result. The courage you displayed in attempting through several different routes to enter a residence you knew to be imminently hazardous displayed an extraordinary level of dedication to the City of Evanston and its residents. And for this, we present you with this honorable mention. On May 26, 2013, there were several vehicle burglaries reported in southwest Evanston. Several complainants gave a description of possible offenders, and you diligently patrolled the area and were able to locate the offenders. You then continued your investigation, resulting in a confession from one offender. Based on your investigation, the offenders were charged with 8 felonies. Fingerprints were obtained during your investigation and linked them to 2 separate residential burglaries. The effort you put forth speaks to your commitment to the community and your position. We present you with this honorable mention. Would Detective Mikkel Geyer please come forward? On April 20th, 2013, you and your partner initiated a traffic stop in the 1100 block of Howard Street. During the course of the stop, you smelled the odor of cannabis and initiated a narcotics investigation. As a result of this investigation, you recovered illegal drugs, a large sum of cash, and ammunition from a safe contained in the trunk of the vehicle. Your procedural knowledge and the thoroughness in obtaining a search warrant resulted in this subject, a convicted felon, being charged with multiple serious offenses. For this, we present you with this honorable mention. Would Detective Adam Pack and Detective Phil Lang also come forward? On June 11, 2013, you were patrolling in the area of Church and Dodge when you heard gunshots being fired nearby and observed a subject running from the scene. You chased the subject while communicating a description and the direction of travel. The subject was stopped and arrested by responding personnel, and a handgun was subsequently recovered. Your bravery in pursuing a subject you could reasonably assume was armed underlines your dedication to the Evanston Police Department. We present each of you with this honorable mention. Detective Geyer, would you remain? And could we please have Detective Kenneth Carter and Detective Brian Hicks please step forward? On July 3rd, 2013, you were in the area of Greenwood and Brown when you observed a known subject in a vehicle driving recklessly at a high rate of speed. You attempted to stop the vehicle, and a subject fled from the vehicle holding his waistband. You gave chase, and while you chased the offender, he threw a handgun into some nearby bushes. You were able to apprehend the subject and recover the handgun. Based on the evidence recovered, the subject was charged with several offenses, including a felony. Your courage in pursuing a potentially armed subject speaks to your dedication to the Evanston Police Department, and we present each of you with this honorable mention. And then Brian, can you stay? On January 16, 2013, you and your partner were in the area of Howard Street in Paulina in search of subjects involved in several recent robberies in the Chicago and Evanston area. You observed a vehicle occupied by individuals matching the description of the offenders in the incident. You determined that the vehicle had been stolen and attempted a felony car stop. The vehicle fled, eventually stopping in an alley. The subjects fled in different directions, and you were able to quickly apprehend one of the fleeing subjects and identify the others. Proceeds from the robberies were discovered and recovered from inside the vehicle, and your diligence resulted in all three offenders being identified and charged with the robberies. We present each of you this honorable mention. Would Detective Corey McCrae and Officer Kyle Weidman please come forward? On July 16, 2013, you and your partner were in the area of 1800 Hovland when you observed an individual you knew to be wanted from Pennsylvania. When you attempted to stop the subject and his companion, both fled on foot. You pursued them and caught them after a brief chase. During the chase, you observed one of the subjects discard a weapon, which was subsequently recovered, and along with another weapon, both subjects were charged with multiple felonies. Your recognition of a wanted person and your quick response likely prevented another shooting incident in the area. For this, we present each of you with this honorable mention. Would Officer Marla Dukler please come forward? On July 24, 2013, you were on a plainclothes bicycle patrol in the area of 1016 Dewey when you observed a vehicle parked on the street which had been ransacked. You immediately began checking the area for offenders and located two subjects checking car doors. You were able to stealthily approach the subjects, preventing them from fleeing and disposing of the evidence. Your excellent tactics resulted in both the subjects being charged with felony burglary to motor vehicles. For this, we present you with this honorable mention. Would recently retired Detective Vinny Santillo please come forward? On October 16, 2013, you and fellow detectives staged a controlled purchase of a used vehicle offered for sale on Craigslist. The sellers were suspected robbers who had previously stolen thousands of dollars from unsuspecting prospective buyers in a similar situation. During this operation, the robbers battered you and robbed you, the undercover officers posing as the buyer, and then these offenders were quickly and safely taken into custody. Based on your excellent planning and execution of this operation, the two offenders were charged with armed robbery. For this, we present you with this honorable mention. Would Sergeant Gene Mulligan, Sergeant Steve Goldenberg, Detective Aaron Wernick, and Forensic Services Manager Michael Wazowitz please come forward? On April 23, 1992, officers responded to the scene of a brutal homicide at 634 Sherman. A woman had been murdered and her 4-year-old son had been left inside of the apartment with her. Despite following numerous leads, detectives were unable to identify the offender. 20 years later, in 2012, Sergeant Gene Mulligan assigned detectives to this cold case and offered them support, which allowed these detectives to develop further information. Detective Aaron Wernick, you and a fellow detective were assigned to this cold case. You reevaluated the case, and with the assistance of Forensic Services Manager Michael Wazowitz, you resubmitted evidence collected by Sergeant Goldenberg to the crime lab. DNA results were returned that identified a match to a parolee, and further investigation developed information that led to the suspect being arrested and charged with first-degree murder. For this, we present each of you with this honorable mention. Oh, there's Mike. One more. Gene? Would Officer Martin Neal please come forward? On November 5th, 2013, you were on patrol in the area of Asbury and Dempster when you observed a vehicle commit several traffic violations. You initiated a traffic stop on the offending vehicle and noticed the driver make furtive movements toward the pocket on the back seat of the front passenger. When you approached the vehicle, you detected the odor of burnt cannabis emanating from the interior, and you searched the vehicle and discovered several $1,000s in cash, 85 grams of cannabis. In the pocket behind the seat, you observed the driver make movements towards, and due to your excellent observations and thorough investigation, the driver was arrested and charged with several drug-related offenses. For this, we will present to you this honorable mention. Deputy Chief Jamrez, would you come forward and present the Officer of the Year Award and the Special Recognition Award?
Thank you, Chief. Would Officer Sean O'Brien please come forward? On March 5th, 2013, Officer O'Brien was off duty, driving in the area of Minor Street and Des Plaines River Road in Des Plaines, Illinois. He observed a small boy standing in traffic and observed other citizens attempt to remove him out of the street. As he continued to assess the situation, he observed the young boy throw a snowball into the Des Plaines River and jumped in after it. Upon seeing the child submerged in near freezing water, Officer O'Brien quickly followed him into the river and rescued him. The boy, who was later learned to be autistic, was subsequently transported to the hospital for treatment and determined to be in good condition. Your willingness to act and the heroic nature of these actions resulted in the potentially deadly situation being resolved in the best possible manner. We present you with the Officer of the Year Award. Would retired Division Chief Jeff Block of the Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services Department please come forward? Chief Block, in appreciation of your dedication, teamwork, and invaluable leadership to the Evanston Police Department from the years 1987 to 2013, we present you with the Special Recognition Plaque. Congratulations, thank you. Chief Eddington?
Good evening, everyone. It's my privilege to mention four Chiefs Special Award winners. They're citizens who couldn't be with us here this evening, but their acts of bravery and service to the community merits recognition this evening. Jeffrey Berger White and Dwayne Bryant. On May 17, 2013, a woman had her cell phone stolen. As the perpetrator fled the scene, Jeffrey Berger White heard her screaming, and he observed someone riding a bicycle that was fast approaching him. He attempted to stop the offender as he passed by. Both tumbled to the ground over the bicycle. As a result of the collision to the ground, Jeffrey suffered a serious injury to his hip. The offender jumped up from the ground and continued to flee. Dwayne Bryant, seeing the events unfolding, pursued the offender and detained him until police arrived. Their alert observations and quick actions resulted in the capture and arrest of this offender. We are extremely grateful for your citizen intervention in this manner. Thank you. A special recognition also goes to Ms. Elda Hall and Alexandria Mitran. On April 24, 2013, you were driving home through the area of Simpson and Darrow. You witnessed a shots fired incident. You noticed the offender's description and stayed on the scene in order to assist responding EPD units as eyewitnesses. You worked with the investigating detectives to identify the offender. These detectives were able to arrest the subject and obtain a confession. The offender was charged with felony aggravated discharge of a firearm. Your alert observations during the incident and calm and immediate response to a dangerous situation resulted in a rapid clearance of a violent crime and the prevention of future crimes by this armed offender. We appreciate your service to the community. As this ceremony draws to a close, I want to mention a special thanks to the men and women of the department who put together this evening's ceremony. Sergeant Kevin Campbell, Officer Sophia Syed, Officer Heidi Bernhardt, Lou Gerges, and Michelle Smith all contributed to this evening's program. I appreciate their efforts to make this event come off as smoothly as it has. In closing, I want to extend again my appreciation to all the award recipients this evening. And I think this event shows that quality of service over time. For the outstanding ET work 20 years ago that brought a homicide offender to justice, to the day in, day out acts that improve the quality of life, I thank you all. Also, I want to take this moment to express my appreciation to the families. This is a particular business that needs that level of support, and that support comes from many areas. The elected officials are here this evening showing their support, as are your families, and that allows us to continue to do this difficult task of policing a free and democratic society. With that, we're up to the important part of the evening. There's cake in the back. Please take a few minutes and enjoy it, and enjoy each other's company. You are truly in the company of heroes tonight. Thank you.